There's a lot of hype about this, so I'm going to cover what is there now and what is coming. Of course, it's a new way of working. Earlier, we had to find user interface entry points and then go and do stuff. Now you just say what you want and it hopefully does it. But all that is coming in future. ChatGPT is there and all that, but it's still not integrated with Microsoft platform fully. It's happening. But as we speak, for many years, there have been a lot of AI features which are pre-existing, which nobody is using, obviously. So नवीन येते ठीक आहे पण आधीच आहे ते पण कधीतरी वापरायला पाहिजे ना. So otherwise, what's new के पीछे what's existing we miss out, and that's the whole idea, the problem with IT. What is NI? AI is artificial intelligence. NI क्या है? वेरी गुड, नेचुरल इंटेलिजेंस, जो सबको है, जो हम ढंग से यूज नहीं करते हैं. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. So it is not a substitute to your base intelligence. That's the most important thing to understand. Absolutely, there is no job threat, and expertise is still important. It is not a replacement to expertise. So, what does it do? Any feature, any technical feature does one of the two things. It either improves something which is ongoing, or it gives you a new capability. In some cases, it's a combination. AI is also doing both. So, let's see. What are we going to cover? Existing features and upcoming features, both. 80/20. So, where is existing AI? So, there is something called connected experiences. Many of us use desktop version of Office. बराबर, एक ले लिया perpetual license चल रहा है, Microsoft पकाएगा तो बोलता है, ठीक है. Nobody buys the Office 365 version of Office because there's E1, E3, E5, Business Basic, Business Premium. So the premium part gives you Office, desktop version of Office. That desktop version of Office is different than Office 2016, 19, 21. Why? What is different? Connected experiences. So ये क्या है connected experiences? These are a list of around 85 things which are called connected experiences. Many of them are AI based, some of them are not. But the purpose they are connected is to execute that feature, the amount of storage, algorithms, and processing power required cannot be installed on desktop. That's the reason they are connected. Otherwise, Microsoft would have put it on desktop. So these connected experiences, some of them are AI based. So this is the list of existing AI features. Some of them I will demonstrate today. The link is there in the page which I gave you. So let's go one by one. Everyone is talking about natural language, right? Natural language querying everywhere. Now this is there for a long time already. So how many of you have used natural language query in Excel? All are IT people, right? We are a better species than end users, correct? So end user ने नाही सांगितलं तर आपल्याला पण येत नाही. एक्सेल बघितलं पूर्वी. सो डेटा आहे. एक्सेलचा होम टॅब मध्ये कधी गेलाय पूर्वी? जायला नाही लागत, दैट इज डिफॉल्ट. सो इसमें क्या होता है ना, बटन होता है, इसको बोलते हैं यूजर इंटरफेस आइटम्स, जो डेवलपर बनाते हैं, कोई देखता नहीं है. This is there for at least 5 years. Earlier it was called ideas. Just the name has changed. So all that you have to do is click in the raw data. Of course, raw data is to be clean and tabular. And then click on this button. It encrypts the data, applies algorithm, and gives you reports. It does not ask you which reports you want. Right? It gives you reports you should be looking at. So how does this work? It takes each column, correlates it statistically with every other column, finds out interesting or statistically significant results, then thinks what is the best way to portray this result. Is it a table? Is it a chart? Which type of chart? It does all that and gives you the results. So most people don't go there, and even if people go, they say अच्छा ये क्या है, अमाउंट बाय कैटेगरी, ये तो मेरे को मालूम है, आई मेक दिस रिपोर्ट एनीवे, तो नवीन काय सांगितलंय नाही, स्क्रॉल करा ना जरा खाली. The outlier report most probably nobody will see because we get a lot of data and we never see it on a daily basis at that level of granularity. Generally, it is summarized at monthly, quarterly level where those peaks will get averaged out. So this may be something interesting, maybe useless. That's not something Excel will tell you, but it is interesting enough for you at least to click on it, investigate why those two big transactions happened, and maybe if there is some action item, you do it. So idea is the best practice is when you have finished making all standard reports, go here, click on this button, eyeball these, and if there is something interesting, act on it. That's all there is to it. For example, I don't think anybody makes a frequency distribution report in business. Statistical people do it. In business, nobody does it, but this guy has given us. Why is it given us? Because whatever our business is, older people don't seem to be buying our product. Now, if you already know that, ignore it. If you don't know it, it's an opportunity to do something. That's called empowerment. This is a new capability. This is not improving anything which was happening earlier, giving you a new capability. And that capability is completely wasted on the world for last 6 years. Now ChatGPT and that Copilot goes one step further. It goes, does all this, converts it to English language and gives you the summary. ठीक है, बट उस पर भी तो कोई क्लिक करना पड़ता है, अपने आप नहीं बोलने वाला है. So if there is no reciprocation, all the features like they have been dying for 30 years will continue dying every day. So reciprocation from our side is absolutely necessary. All right, now having done all this, you may have questions. So that's where the natural language part comes in. टेक्स्ट बॉक्स दिया है उसने, तो क्वेश्चन पूछो. और उसको ये भी मालूम है लोग इतना ढक्कन है कि क्या क्वेश्चन पूछने का ये भी नहीं पता होगा, तो उसने तुम्हारे डेटा के ऊपर क्वेश्चन बना के दिया है. रियली ये भी कोई क्लिक नहीं करता है, बाय द वे. And generally what happens, we take data. Take means bosses just get reports, right? Bosses have recruited low end people whose brain has no value, their hands have value, so they copy paste, clean up data, put it in PowerPoint, then PPT boss दिखाएगा, and boss question पूछेगा कि ये क्या, इसका ये बताओ, and then what will everyone in the world say? I will get back to you. काय का एजाइल हो गया, बराबर. सो ये टेक्स्ट बॉक्स क्यों नहीं दिखता है तुमको? That is the idea. So it is not only up to users and IT. Bosses have to be shown this. And what is the SOP? Those who have the license are never going to click on it unless someone compels them to, at least initially. So what is the SOP from this? What is the betterment you will do tomorrow? Whenever you are coming out with reports, put them in PPT wherever you want, but take the raw data, and if someone asks a question, click on that text box and answer that question there. That's informed decisions faster. That's the whole promise of AI and BI for a long time. अभी तक हुआ नहीं, वो अलग बात है. ठीक है. So now let's ask some questions. Now just to make it even more AI oriented, I'm going to press Windows H. What is Windows H? Voice recognition. So there are two types of voice recognition in Office or other Windows. One is generic. Generic is Windows H, means wherever there is a text box, it will work. And then there is more optimized one for OneNote and Outlook and Word, where it is even more sophisticated. So this is a generic one. So before you use anything in dictation, make sure the settings are correct and the correct mic is being used. So now I'm going to ask a question. So these are the columns I have: city, whatever, gender, age, amount. So Windows H, top 3 city by average amount. Enter नहीं दबाता है. If you want to enter, then new paragraph बोलना पड़ता है. So it gave you the results. Now many people who know pivot table don't know how to do top 3 for last 20 years, although the feature is there. But you don't have to know all that. Even if you know how to create pivot table, it is given it to you. Use it and then investigate and do whatever you want. So this natural language query, for it to become mainstream, the best practice is carry the raw data in the meeting and learn this feature and teach it to everyone around you. It doesn't matter boss है कि subordinate. Now this has a limit of 500 half a million cells, whatever rows and columns. This understands only one table. But if you use the same thing in Power BI, which is called Q&A, and then there is a quick insights version of it, that understands data model, so relationships as well. So if you have a choice, use the Power BI version of this. All right. Next. Now in Power BI, how many use Power BI? Okay. So this is the same data in Power BI. Power BI has a couple of nice things. Q&A is of course there. Power BI Q&A and data model allows you to have synonyms and all that. But there's something more which Power BI gives, which Excel does not give. So if you go to modeling, it will allow you to create the linguistic schema. What does that mean? It has a syntax. When you write natural sentence, it has to say what is verb, what is noun, all that. So now in my database, it is called AMT, but actually business people call it revenue. So all that linguistic thing can be customized here using linguistic schema. How to create it? I will give you the link. So it can be very domain specific, and to my knowledge, any customer who is using Power BI extensively, nobody has even clicked on that button, losing an opportunity. And that's how bridge the gap between technical and business, which has never happened. But it's an opportunity waiting to be exploited. But beyond that, let's say I have a chart, simple chart. I could have made this in Excel, and now I want to see क्या हो रहा है. 46 का 20 हो गया. What is the obvious question? Q. Now Q can be answered by looking at the data. I have used two fields from the data right now, but there are many other things in the data. So what do we do with that? I have many other columns in the data. Agreed. Currently I have used date and amount. Now if I say I will get back to you, which is what I will say, 2 घंटे के बाद या 2 दिन के बाद, I will give you a report to explain that decrease. But that report will explain it by what? By class of city, location, state, card type, gender, expense type. Which one? One or two of them, right? Not all of them. That's the difference. So even there, we are underutilizing the opportunity to understand the reason for that decrease. So what should we do? Anyone? I don't have any prizes to give you, but we'll clap for you. क्या करना चाहिए? So it says ये पहले ऐसा था, and then it has ranked all the dimensions or fields in the order of influence, which influences that decrease maximum, and then it is giving you all of them. So this is based on location. So one location increase, others decrease. This is male, female. This is type of transaction, and so on and so forth. This is part of free version of Power BI desktop. Nobody uses it, but now you can. There's another one which is really nice. Many a times when we copy paste things in PowerPoint, you have the report, but you want to highlight something in the report. अच्छा इधर गड़बड़ हुआ, ये 20% increase हुआ. It may be obvious in the chart, but you want to make sure people understand it. So we put annotations. ठीक है, annotation डाला. Next महीना chart copy paste करता है, पुराना annotation रहता है. So it may go out of sync. Anyway, if I show you this report, everyone understands the report. Assume you know the data. But if I ask individually, क्या समझा तेरे को? Will everyone's answer be same? Even if this is your data, you breathe that data for 20 years, still the answer will not be same. So to make that annotation automated, we have a new feature. New feature means new visual. So you go to insert, and there are multiple AI visuals. One of them is called smart narrative. So it actually analyzes what happened there, and it is giving you the interpretation. And if you want, you can use custom measures also and customize this. Now this is interactive, of course. So if I click on something, this will also change. Good. This is completely free for life. This is a part of Power BI desktop. So please start using it. Teach people, especially bosses. All right. So that's about Excel and Power BI. This we have already talked about. Now there is a lot of visual AI already in Word, PowerPoint, and many other places. So let's see some of them. So if I go to many of these features, some of them are in preview, and nowadays for ease of deployment and testing, they first come on the browser version. So if you don't find something on the desktop, try it on the browser version. So let's say I have this document and I want to format it. There's a designer button. So click on the designer button. It will give you multiple good looking templates, and one click it will transform your document. It of course needs to have structure, so some headings and subheadings have to be there. But right now the document looks like this, and in one click I can convert it to a different look and feel. So this is a simple but effective way of doing it. But that's not all. There is another part which is very important. Designer in PowerPoint. So have you clicked on the design button in PowerPoint before? That is applied AI for a very long time now. But even those who use designer don't know how to use it properly. So I'll show you certain things you may not know. The best designs you will get when you start a blank new presentation, go to the first slide and put the topic there. That will give you best suggestions. Once you find the best suggestion, then it creates a theme, and then you can create the further one. So design ideas. You yes, हाँ मालूम है. So design ideas are simple. You write something and it will give you the pictures. That's very simple nowadays. But there is more. Many of them are videos. But there is another part called perspectives, which is there in Word as well as PowerPoint. What does that mean? Suppose I show this. Do you understand the sentence? Guys, difficult nahi thecha. But how much is that in terms of time? How many minutes? It's not difficult. It's not easy to understand. So that confuses the audience when you show large numbers of any thing. So it automatically adds that sentence, 2.5 months. Now it is easier to understand. That is called perspective. It's a simple, well established concept of communication. So the second sentence comes from AI. It is not new, it is there for at least 6 years. So when you're writing something in PowerPoint, if you get a brown dotted line, that means it has thought of a perspective. Click on it and add it there. But that's not all. It also crops and arranges images by looking at the image, understanding which area of the image is probably useful, and crop intelligently. Up to 10 images, put them, one click, you get this. Similarly, it also creates diagrams. This is more of a timeline. You would spend a lot of time creating it. This is one click, you get this, and variations as well. Similarly, if there is no time, it is just abstract ideas, no problem, it will find icons also correctly. All these are from the base library of PowerPoint. Even very abstract thoughts also, it will generally find the correct icon, and of course you can change it later. So that is how AI is already being used in PowerPoint. But that's not all, there is much more. Let's go further and talk about text AI. Now Teams has a Teams premium SKU. I have some of you know it. Very often bosses have multiple meetings and they are overlapping. So boss wants to attend all meetings, but the time is clashing. So what do bosses do? They attend one meeting, thoda sa, then they go to another meeting. And then that meeting is already progressed for 45 minutes. And now, even if I'm the boss, I don't want to disturb people saying, Abhi tak kya hua? So Teams Premium understands who is speaking because anyway is doing transcription and audio conversion. But that is long text of 45 minutes, whatever people have said. It summarizes it and gives it to you as interim summary. That's a part of Teams Premium. And of course, at the end of the meeting, it will automatically generate a summary of the entire meeting as well. So that's one of the features of Teams Premium, which is already available, which uses the text summarization engine. Then all of us are technical people and our communication skills are never that great. When it comes to communicating on text, you need a lot of help. So if you are writing a thesis or a report or a proposal, we always lag behind there. We make mistakes, grammatical mistakes, so many things. So Word as well as Edge has something called editor, which uses AI to understand all these things. They are not just grammar, they are improving quality of writing. So there's just a list, it's a long list. So I'm just going to scroll it. इतना सारा है उसमें. Just enable all of them and it will give you suggestions about what to improve and why should you improve it. So example, so when you write something, it looks at is it correct or not. So same thing which I talked about earlier, perspectives are also available here. 15 minutes of running. So like that, when you're writing stuff, you will get double blue underline. So India won the prize. You can't put exclamation and dot together. You get master's degree, M should not be capital. These kind of mistakes we make, we don't even realize it. But जो इंटरव्यू ले रहा है उसको समझता है अपना औकात क्या है. So without exposing your awkat to anybody, this is giving you an opportunity to improve your life. Please understand, this is empowerment. This is not new. Please start using it. Normally we ignore those lines and most common question ये क्यों आता है? इसको बंद कैसे करने का? हाँ, never show this again. So use it to your advantage. So this is the editor button and now this is available as a free add-in inside Edge. So in Edge, in any browser page where you're writing text, all this is available, not just in Word. So the horizon had just expanded. So notice it looks at what kind of writing it is and it gives you stuff based on that. It understands many things. For example, I wrote Bombay. तो इसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम है? वो बोलता है आजकल उसको मुंबई बोलता है, तो ये डालो या ये डालो. So technically, technically it is called sensitive geopolitical reference. वे मास्टर स्लेव मॉडल तो हम बचपन से कर रहे हैं, बट नाउ डेज इट्स नॉट अ गुड थिंग टू से स्लेव. सो बोलता है सेकेंडरी डिवाइस बोलो उसको. ठीक है. सो इट्स सॉफ्टवेयर इज वेरी ओल्ड, सो दिस इज ऑल्सो अ बैड आइडिया. वेरी इज अ वेरी कॉमनली यूज वर्ड. सो इट्स सेइंग इंप्रूव वोकेबुलरी ना जरा. ये जेंडर का प्रॉब्लम है तो एक्टर बोलने का रहता है. So in a very subtle way, it is actually improving your communication. All right, so that's about editor. Then word to PowerPoint. It's an amazing feature. Nobody uses it because nobody knows it. So how do we use it? Let's say this proposal which I showed you earlier. It's a long proposal. Itna some 18 pages का proposal है, TOC है, and now customer says इसका present करो मेरे को. I've already sent the proposal. Now during the meeting presentation, I cannot scroll the document. I need PPT. So everyone in the world will happily go to Word one at a time, copy a heading, PowerPoint, new slide, paste. कितना बार करेगा? 40 बार करेगा. बॉस पीछे खड़ा है, बॉस गाली देगा? नहीं, बिकॉज बॉस भी वही करता है. पगार मिलेगा, 40 मिनट का पगार भी मिलेगा. नो बडी विल ऑब्जेक्ट. So when you have imbalance between hands and brain, that means you are literally wasting your life. That also means that efficiency or the lack of it has been noticed by Microsoft and they must have given me a feature. You don't have to think whether there is a better way. You have to assume there is a better way. Just find the button. Now, where is the button? There is no hard and fast rule. Logically सोचो, वर्ड फाइल को एक्सेल पावर पॉइंट में कन्वर्ट करना है, कौन से मेनू में होगा? फाइल मेनू में होगा. उधर कभी गया है? गया है. सब देखा है? नहीं देखा है. एक्सपोर्ट में पावर पॉइंट बैठा है. So I will give you some templates. Choose any template and then export. So this is actually a precursor of ChatGPT equivalent being used to summarize, convert, and there is a correlation engine of text concepts to visuals plus design concepts. All of that is being applied. ये बनाया उसने. ना ये क्या होगा? इतना कुछ मजा नहीं है ना इसमें. ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट बनाए हैं, बराबर. So what did I do? I went to file, export, and I chose a black and white template. That is the worst way of doing it. You should at least choose a colorful template, no? So let's choose another one and we will see the difference. And in the meantime, we will see इसने इधर क्या बनाया है. Okay. So it is not that one page will become one slide. It thinks what should go, how should it go, is it looking boring, should it be split, does it need a visual, all that thinking it is doing, and then it will create whatever it needs to create. So this is existing feature currently available only on browser. So even if you have a document, put it on OneDrive, open it on web, file export. It's not perfect, you may have to make changes, but still whatever it has done will be much better than what you will produce after 40 minutes of copy paste. Now we'll come to designer a little later. Then this is a very, very powerful use of AI, which is already happening. We don't even know that it is happening, but it is helping one set of people, those who have eyesight problems. What does it do? All of you developers know that when we put an image anywhere, we have to put alt text. How often do we do it? Very often just because SEO को लगता है कुछ जुगाड़ डालते हो, बराबर. But what about PowerPoint? PowerPoint में SEO नहीं है, but people are watching more PowerPoint you made. They have no eyes. How will they understand the picture? So this is a feature which has been there for at least 10 years to my knowledge. So what am I doing now? I'm just adding a picture. Let's try. कुछ नहीं हुआ, कुछ हुआ, देखो. It recognized the picture and it actually gave you the alt text. And of course, there is an alt text pane, and there you can see. And if you want, you can edit it or you can approve it. If you like it, say approve, because that's improving the AI algorithm behind the scenes. So it's very useful, and without any extra effort, people are benefiting. But the problem with this is alt text can be created for images. It cannot be created for charts, at least as yet. So whenever you put a chart, please remember it is your responsibility. Anything visual you put which is not a picture, it is your responsibility to put alt text. So that's what should you do. Voice, we have lots of stuff. Dictation is very powerful now. For years we have been struggling with Windows voice to text and it never worked properly. बाद में nuance को खरीदा but अभी तक वो integrate नहीं हुआ है. But now the dictation feature which is connected is really, really good. So let's see an example of that. It is available in Word, OneNote, Outlook. So you can actually dictate mails. So just create a new file. This is available on desktop as well. If you don't see it on desktop, go to browser. So it's important to go to settings. Make sure you choose English India. Otherwise, वो accent नहीं समझता है उसको. This it understands. There are many versions of English. And if you have multiple mics, use the best mic you have. And that's it. There is a sensitive phrase filter also. I hope तुम गाली तो नहीं देने वाला हो, छोड़ो उसको. So now whatever I am speaking will get converted to text. Notice when I am speaking fast, it goes ahead, stops sometimes, thinks, comes back. All that is happening behind the scenes because it's connected, it's going on the internet, getting transcribed, coming back, and all that. New paragraph. That's how it creates, goes to the next line. So now ये डेमो अच्छा है, ताली बजाओगे, घर जाओगे, कुछ नहीं करोगे. So नहीं ताली मत बजाओ. What I'm saying is ये बटन देखा, ये कौन देखेगा? It's equally important. So इसमें क्या लिखा है? This is voice to text. So it understands voice, dictation, and commands. It's very important to understand the commands. Otherwise, there will be so many manual corrections, you will give up on it. So that's why it understands so many different spoken commands. So get used to it. आधा घंटा डालो, जिंदगी सुधरेगी. That is the idea. So knowing a feature and getting impressed and impressing others is easy. Utilizing it correctly requires a little bit of extra effort, but that goes a long way. So that's dictation. Now next. Transcription is also there in Word and OneNote. Many of YouTubers require audio को text बनाने का है. That is there built in into Word, OneNote, and Teams has always been doing it, but Teams Premium has another feature now. Especially for bosses, it is very important, or people who work across countries. So I have a tie-up with Germany for whatever production. Now that person doesn't understand English. That person is only going to speak in German. So transcription in Teams will also come in German. So now with Teams Premium, you can let the person speak in whatever language. You can choose your language and it'll not just transcribe, it will translate as well. And 65, I think, languages are supported right now. So many people who are actually working internationally do not know this feature. Tell them that. There's another feature related to voice. For example, none of you understood English for whatever reason. You only understand Hindi. No problem, but I don't understand Hindi. So I am presenting this PowerPoint feature. Right click, subtitle settings. In that, say I am going to speak in English and subtitle should be in Hindi. Nothing will happen because you have to enable them. Now whatever I am speaking will get transcribed in, not just transcribed, it will get translated in Hindi live. So this is a good way of communicating with people when there is a language barrier. And as though this is not enough, PowerPoint has another feature called Present Live, where I'll show you that a little later. You will understand that's quite good. Earlier it was not so good. Now because of AI improvement, it is really, really good. Okay, so that's subtitles. Next. Any questions so far? Any question other than आज तक मैं क्या कर रहा था? Yes. Yeah. So if you want the statement to make is new paragraph, it will actually add a new paragraph, CRLF. If you don't want that, say undo that. That's also a voice command. Okay, so now text recognition. This has been there for ages, 20 years now in OneNote. Many people have scanned documents and they don't know how to search. So print to OneNote and OneNote will search for it. So OneNote is always added as a printer. So you print to OneNote so that scanned document becomes an image, and Control F works here. So if it was a 2-page document, 20-page, doesn't matter. I don't have to scroll, just say next, next, next. And as though this is not enough, right click there and it will copy text from all pages if you want. This is not new. But a kind of OCR is new now in Excel. In Excel mobile app, also on desktop, but more convenient on mobile. This eliminates data entry. So you have a printout, someone is typing it, data from picture, crop it, it will become. There are a lot of OCR software, but those don't understand grid. Notice here there was only horizontal grid, there was no vertical grid. Still, it figured out what to put where. So this eliminates data entry. Use it. This is there for 4 years. Now, a combination of these things also happens. PowerPoint subtitles, I've already told you. PowerPoint Live is amazing. So, suppose you have a multilingual audience. I'm speaking in English, someone is German, someone is Hindi, someone is Telugu. I actually run Present Live and then it generates a QR code. So, everyone in the audience scans the QR code, a browser page opens, and whatever I'm speaking will get translated in native language to start with, but then individual person can choose their language. So in the same room, I am speaking in one language, but each person can choose their own language live. This is available for 5 years. So notice I am speaking in Hindi there and someone is translating in Japanese. So that is PowerPoint Live. Where is it? Do you want to see? You go to PowerPoint, in PowerPoint browser as well as desktop now, I think. No, right now this is only on browser version. Present Live, and this will create a QR code. Okay, next. How much time do I have till? 3, na? Okay, all right. Now next. These are the new things. which have come up, and there is a lot of excitement, which is rightly so. But from a user point of view, there is one problem which is going to come. Microsoft is going to introduce all these things in Office, obviously, and the entire platform. Now, as I said, Office has multiple SKUs. गरीबों का होता है, अमीरों का होता है. Now, if you take any company, think of your own. Let's say all of your enterprises, not 300 or less. So we are talking about enterprise edition. इसमें E1 होता है where everything is on browser. And there is E3 where is browser plus Office, and E5 which is all that plus security and Power BI. So 80%, 90% of users have E1. They don't have the connected desktop version of Office. And whatever this AI infusion which is going to happen in future, Copilot it is called, I'll show you the demos. Those are likely to come as an add-on on top of E3. So only 10-15% of population has a hope of using that. And if I have to buy something costly, I'll buy it for boss or junior, and who actually does the work. So it is absolutely useless. Understand? People who have millions of rows of data, who are splitting them into 1 million sheets and struggling with 4 pivot tables, get सबसे थका हुआ laptop. And boss gets an amazing laptop, उसको scroll करने को भी ढंग से नहीं आता. Anyway, so let's talk about this Copilot because there is a lot to show there. Currently, it is only show because there is nothing actually implemented and it's in a very private beta. Even MVPs don't have access. Even Microsoft's own staff don't have access to it as of now. But let's talk about which one do you want to see first? Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, Teams meetings. Okay.
Copilot in Teams makes every meeting a productive one. Here, you're in a meeting with your team. You can ask Copilot to summarize what's happened so far. Copilot summarizes who said what and what points were made, capturing the spirit of the discussion.
This part of it is already there in Teams Premium, but it will improve.
And as the meeting progresses, you can check in on where people stand.
So I asked a question, overall क्या लग रहा है बीटिंग का पल्स, तो एक्चुअली ढूंढ के दिया from what people spoke. Next.
You can even ask Copilot what questions are unresolved. It is just amazing to see
saying इतना डिस्कस हुआ है, इतना नहीं हुआ है.
this happen in real time during a meeting.
And one related thing is called business chat.
Copilot in Teams makes every meeting a productive one. Here, you're in a meeting. Business chat works across all your data and apps to help you do things you've never been able to do before. Let's say you're preparing for a customer meeting. You start by asking Copilot to summarize all your recent customer interactions, meetings, content you've shared, any issues, and deliverables. Copilot works across your calendar, emails, chats, documents, and meetings to find all the pertinent information. Now you've got a concise summary, complete with citations. You can hover over the citations to verify sources or learn more. You know product lead times are likely to come up in the conversation, so you ask Copilot to help. Copilot combs through all your documents, meetings, emails, files, and company resources to get you what you need. With Copilot, you're always prepared. Copilot.
Yeah, tell me.
Business chat works across all your data and app.
Business chat is a summary of analyzed by Copilot. Yeah. So how is it working? Right? That's the question. So let me explain that first. So is this using ChatGPT? Yes, absolutely, it is using ChatGPT. But all this data is not public, it is private data. So, is it putting my data into public training? No. Will other people see it? No. So, what is it really doing? So, the mechanics of this behind, because there's a technical audience, I'll show you how this actually works behind the scenes.
Microsoft 365 Copilot is powered by what we call the Copilot system, a sophisticated processing and orchestration engine. It harnesses the power of three foundational technologies: the Microsoft 365 apps, that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Teams, and more. The Microsoft Graph, that's all your content and context, your emails, files, meetings, chats, and calendar. And a large language model, or LLM, a creative engine capable of parsing and producing human-readable text, all accessible through natural language. It starts with a prompt from you in an app. Copilot pre-processes the prompt through an approach called grounding. Put simply, grounding improves the quality of the prompt, so you get answers that are relevant and actionable. One of the most important parts of grounding is making a call to the Microsoft Graph to retrieve your business content and context. Copilot combines this user data from the graph with other inputs to improve the prompt. It then sends that modified prompt to the LLM. You may be familiar with what an LLM can do based on your experience with ChatGPT or Bing Chat. Copilot takes the response from the LLM and post-processes it. This post-processing includes additional grounding calls to the graph, responsible AI checks, security, compliance, and privacy reviews, and command generation. Finally, Copilot sends a response to the user and commands back to the apps. Copilot iteratively processes and orchestrates these sophisticated services to produce a result that feels like magic.
So, what you wrote, it took the context from MS Graph. MS Graph means what? Every time you create a file, you know you created a file, you attended a meeting, file gets indexed automatically. So, uska text index it already has. So, all that puts it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT prompts are not used for training, so that's private. It's destroyed after that. And then the return value, it does that. But then it said something else. It's not only the output from ChatGPT. You asked it to do something, correct? So now that something has to happen in Word or Excel or PowerPoint. So you have to write some code in Word, Excel, PowerPoint to get that done, like writing a macro. That is also happening on the fly. So an example of that will make it clearer. I showed you the Excel part where I asked a question and Excel gave me pivot table. That was the earlier version. Now see the Chat GPT version of pivot Excel.
Copilot in Excel helps you make sense of all your data. Say you need to analyze this quarter's sales results. You start by
So this is the same raw data like before. I am also asking a
asking
question.
Copilot to analyze the data and give you three key trends.
Now I earlier clicked on that analyze data button. Instead of that, I said this. But in addition, I said give me three things.
Within seconds,
So now it is analyzing it, but it is not going to give me charts and pivot tables. It's going to interpret those
you've got
and
what you need.
it is giving me this. So that's the next step. Now, having seen this, I want to do something more. Now, apart from asking questions and generating pivot tables, nothing was possible in the analyze data functionality.
But you want to drill in. You ask Copilot a follow-up question about one of the trends. Copilot creates a new sheet, giving you a sandbox.
So now how did it do that? It has to talk to Excel to get it done. So it's not just getting data from ChatGPT and showing it as text. It's now converting it to some command sheets.add. वो सब live हो रहा है. That is where the transformative benefit is going to come.
Explaining and helping you better understand what's happening. You ask Copilot to visualize what contributed to the decline in sales growth this period.
So there's like a what if analysis. We asked for what if analysis question.
Copilot adds a little color to make the problem jump off the page. Now you want to dig deeper and ask a follow-up question with a what if scenario. Copilot not only answers your question, It creates a simple model and even asks if you want to learn more about what it did with a step-by-step.
So it doesn't just give output, it knows explanation देता है कि ऐसा किया मैंने. So that is a way to check कि बराबर किया कि नहीं. Because always there is a scope that something is wrong there.
That breakdown.
To understand the context, it goes to the LLM, and to operate on the data, it comes back. Yeah. But while going to LLM also, it is taking your data and context there. It's not being used for training purpose. It's only for getting the answer. So LLM is not keeping your prompt there, your data there. It's a combination of your internal stuff and the cumulative intelligence of LLM.
Is it documented somewhere that it's not processing this?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the privacy page.
Down. What?
You want to see? Copilot is not yet released, so उसका privacy page बना नहीं है. So I don't think what you are asking for will be visible here. But to go to Copilot mini site, they have mentioned the privacy part, because if that data is used for public training, no customer is going to use it. No compliance manager is going to allow it to happen. And that obviously means all that add-on nobody is going to buy. So absolutely, that is a necessity. So you can go to this page, and current ChatGPT privacy is here, but your data privacy will come when Copilot is released. Now there are other things as well. How many of you have seen ChatGPT Playground? Few. So many people just go to ChatGPT. Don't do that. There are two other things you should look at. I'm not going to show you a detailed demo of that. Playground is a set of examples to actually illustrate what ChatGPT does. Very, very nice stuff. And even better, I would say, use Bing Chat. So I'm going to show you why. First, I need to show you something to understand the context. Then we will understand the difference between and the nuances between these things. So this is raw data. I'm going to make a simple pivot table here and put month and amount. This is a very simple pivot table. And now I want this data to be shown as month on month growth or decline in percentages. So I want to see Feb and Jan को compare करके बढ़ा कि कम हुआ कितना कम हुआ. Same way March with Feb, April with March, so on. How do you do that? Anyone? Copy this data to Bing Chat. नहीं अभी अब नॉर्मल एक्सेल का अभी चैट नहीं आया. एक्सेल में पॉसिबल है, फॉर्मूला डाल के पॉसिबल है, फॉर्मूला नहीं डालना है. राइट क्लिक, शो वैल्यूज एज percent difference from what? March it is taking because my cursor is in March. Do I want March? No, I don't want March to be hard coded. I want previous. So open करने का. This is how you get month on month growth or decline. Nobody knows it obviously, but it is there for 22 years at least. ठीक है, तो अभी ये क्वेश्चन हम चैट जीपीटी को पूछेंगे. चैट जीपीटी, इंटरनेट मर गया. So now the funda is ChatGPT will give you an answer, no doubt about that. But exactly what it does is what we are interested in. So I think I already have it saved. So I ask the question. Sorry, नया chat बनाते. So while this is happening, I'm going to put the same text in Google. Now notice this is the Google answer. It came much faster, obviously, and this answer is wrong. This this answer is wrong or right? The answer is right. It came much faster. Now here, what is it showing? Same thing. So what difference? We could as well have done Google, no? Why waste 20 seconds for this? And ये बताता भी नहीं कहाँ से है. So understand, if it is a point question, there is no point in going to LLM. There are simpler ways of doing this. It's not a replacement to standard search. But what it can't do, standard search can't do, this will do. But the problem is it may do many creative things. It won't tell you where it picked it up from. So the problem of कहाँ से आया ये? So even if the answer looks brilliant, you don't have a reference to go back to. So the solution midway is Bing Chat. It is there as a button here, or you just say bing.com/chat. Now if I ask that same question here, of course, this question deserves to be just search, but just to show you the difference, this will give you the answer similar to what ChatGPT is, because behind the scenes it's ChatGPT. It will also take enormous amount of time compared to Google, but I'll just show you the difference. This will give you one answer instead of Google giving 1 million results. This will give you one answer only. But the difference between the ChatGPT answer and this answer is this will tell you where the answer was picked up from. That is the difference. And this will also say based on this, maybe you have these questions also. So this is using ChatGPT in a more intelligent way and gives you lineage and references. So long story short, if you want something which is complex question, difficult to get an answer in normal search, then go here and go here where Bing Chat. And then creative part, of course, Google search or any search cannot do. For that, we have this. In ChatGPT, you just get one text box. In Bing, you get three different things. So Insights is just about the currently open site. So forget that. Compose is the creative writing. So now I'm going to ask me, okay, now I want it professional. I want the format to be ideas and I want the length to be short. So this control is easy to do here. In ChatGPT Playground, you can do all this, but this is much simpler to use. And now you say generate. Another benefit of using this pane is if you have a website open, lots of text, whatever you select there, you can paste here and do summarization as well. So notice it has given me these brand names out of the box. This is creativity. This is not searched anywhere. And not only has it given me name, it has actually given me taglines also. This is something a search cannot do. This is where the LLM will be useful. So understand which one to use when, and life is good. Now coming to the generative um, creators of images. This image creator is amazing. Of course, we have other things as well. Like what do we have now in image context? We have stable diffusion, mid journey, Canva. Canva is still, I would say, good. But if you want pure generative imaging, mid journey is leading right now. Microsoft, in that sense, is the late entry, but it is quite good. So I'll show you some examples of what can be done here. It's an iterative process. You have to understand prompt generation, but what do you get here? This is now publicly available. Now you get some bonus points here. So 100 queries फटाफट आएगा, उसके बाद slow होगा. But as of now, it is free. Same thing with ChatGPT. You pay $18, it will be faster beyond a point. So now the first thing most people do when they go to generative engines is they try generating. कुछ तो टाइप करेगा और सोचेगा आया नहीं. That is the worst way of using it. What should you do first? जो लोगों ने prompt बनाया वो सीखो ना पहले, इसलिए एग्जाम्पल दिया है. So when you hover on each one of them, it actually tells you what the prompt was. So read at least 15-20 of them, understand इससे कैसे बात करते हैं, then you will be able to make a better prompt. That's the idea. So that's image generation. So tell me something, we'll create an image. Now these images are not being searched on internet and generated. It is not a search engine, it's a generative engine. So बोलो कुछ, क्या पिक्चर बनाओ? Microservice architecture. Microservice architecture with C. And how do you want it? Like a painting, like watercolor, futuristic, photorealistic? चलो इतना ही देखते हैं क्या आता है. डोमेन स्पेसिफिक. No, it takes time. Yeah.
And this all like how we used to use micro office components in .NET. So this all will be available as API.
Native part. It's already available. ये देखो ये बनाया उसने. कुछ ज़्यादा समझा नहीं उसको. That's all. ये जनरल इंटेलिजेंस है ना, तो डोमेन स्पेसिफिक. अगर मैं पूछा मैं गायनाकोलॉजिस्ट हूँ, गायनाकोलॉजी कोई क्वेश्चन मुझे उतना नहीं आने वाला है, बिकॉज expertise is not documented that much on the cloud public sites. Most of the expertise sites are gated, right? Gated part इसको नहीं समझता है. So if you, for example, I was with a customer who is big into chemicals. Their bottleneck is some chemical coming from China. So I asked ChatGPT, how much is the export of that chemical? Nothing came. It said, I don't have the data because all that is under B2B sites. You need access to that. That is not available, so nahi milega. So I'll give you some examples of what is possible. So very often I'm working on customers where I don't just cover productivity, I also cover security part. So very often what happens is I need to show that if you increase security, productivity goes down. I need a visual for that. So for that purpose, I wanted an image and I didn't find an image by searching. I could have done it in Photoshop, but I didn't want to do it. By the way, how do you go here? Bing.com/create. Now in the base Bing search also Bing chat is incorporated, but for now Bing.com/create. So I asked something and it gave me the results. मेरा results किधर है? Creation. So I'll ये देख. Okay, let's try this here itself. So it's a good demo. So I say person working on keyboard on laptop rather with hands tied. Photorealistic. Now it will generate this because it's in open domain. It's easy for it to figure out क्या करना है. Here it is. वो image already है. It is actually conveying the meaning. And how much effort? Few seconds. नहीं कुछ कॉपीराइट नहीं है. अभी तो डिस्प्यूट है कि कौन किसका है, बट ये जनरेटेड है ना. Human being has not generated this particular image. It came out of thin air. So as of now कोई copyright नहीं है. So a lot of things are available. For example, abstract things also it will do beautifully. So but as though this is not enough, a combination of text generation, image generation and design generation is combination is available. That is called Microsoft Designer. Yeah. Yeah, 100 अभी दिखा ना. ये डाली है, सेपरेट है. एंड अगर ये पॉइंट खत्म हो गया तो बढ़ाने के लिए बिंग यूज करने का तो पॉइंट्स बढ़ता है. सो ये सी ये मेरा पेंडिंग पॉइंट्स है. ये बढ़ाने के लिए क्या करने का वो बताएगा. So now a combination of all this is called Microsoft Designer. So this is like I want a poster or a YouTube क्या बोलते हैं thumbnail and I describe what it wants. So it'll take image, design, colors, fonts ये सब decide करके बना के देगा. So that's a combination of multiple things put together. Something equivalent of this is available in Canva also, which is much better because Canva has been there in this for a long time. but this is just beta, and I hope that will improve much better. Now here you can add your own images, or the generate image option is also here. It's a combination. So bottom line, there are a lot of things available. There's one more thing which is available, which is useful to every Microsoft 365 user. That is called Viva Insights, which uses AI. Have you used Viva Insights? So let me just show it to you so that everyone is on the same page. So what does Viva Insights do? Yeah, question, bolo. Someone has a question? Yeah. Huh. 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 नहीं इसमें नहीं you are talking about Outlook mail search, right? एक मिनट, let me show. नहीं, that is because you asked only person name, उसने person का सब दिखाया, वो हजारों होगा, correct? So what is the idea? इसमें कोई आया नहीं है. I'll show you. How do I? So this is a search text box. It is in a very inconvenient place, I agree, but that's the way it is. So now if I ask for something, if it searches, where is it going to search? Current folder or all entire mailbox? We don't know. Is it going to search in subject, body, or attachments? We don't know. We have not said anything, so it will search Dunia Bhar. That's why you get lots of results. So this is the worst way of searching. Just type what you want is not the way to search. Why? Now notice, ये सर्च मेनू आता है, ये कोई देखता नहीं है. अभी मैं सर्च से बाहर गया, मेनू भी गया, मैं सर्च में आया. अभी अनफॉर्चुनेटली ड्रॉप डाउन आता है, इसके लिए दिखता नहीं है, बट 20 बरस से ड्रॉप डाउन नहीं था, तभी भी किसी ने देखा नहीं. सो इस पे जाने का पहले पहले कॉन्टेक्स्ट सर्च करने का. कॉन्टेक्स्ट बाय डिफॉल्ट इज करंट मेल बॉक्स. यूजुअली इन आवर माइंड कॉन्टेक्स्ट इज करंट फोल्डर. स्कोप डिफाइन हो गया. देन यू योरसेल्फ सेड, कभी तो आया याद है, तो यू एक्चुअली हैव अ सिंटैक्स यू कैन लर्न फ्रॉम. फॉर एग्जांपल यू रिमेंबर कि वो सब्जेक्ट में था, जो भी है, सब्जेक्ट कोलन सिंटैक्स सीखो, ठीक है, और यू हैव मोर ऑप्शंस देयर. और यू रिमेंबर दैट इट वाज हैविंग एन अटैचमेंट, सो हैज अटैचमेंट इक्वल टू यस. सो जितना रिफाइन कर सकते हो उतना करो, उतना प्रिसाइज सर्च आएगा. And if it is very slow, I suspect something like this has happened. So go to the search thing, go to search tools and look at indexing status. एक dialog आएगा छोटा. Look at the number here. If it is a very large number, that means your index has not happened at all. That's why it's taking time. This number should be below 100 always. If you see a large number here, machine चालू रखो, index reset करो and leave it on for overnight. सुबह ठीक हो जाए. Sorry? Sorry? It is always supposed to search in the index. Probably it is taking time because it is going one by one at that point. So your index may be out of sync or not there at all. Okay. So Viva Insights is a very powerful feature. It works behind the scenes. I am sure you must have seen a mail which comes every day called Viva Daily Briefing. पहले उसको कोर्टाना डेली ब्रीफिंग बोलते थे, अभी कोर्टाना मर गया या सम एम्बिग्यूअस स्टेट में है वो, सो अभी विवा का जमाना है. But the mail does the same thing. What does it do? The AI is analyzing all the communication you are doing through email and noticing two things. One is commitments and other is follow-ups. Commitment means I am sending a mail saying कल मैं भेजता हूँ कुछ तो. That is a commitment. Or the reverse. Someone has told me कि 3 दिन के बाद proposal आएगा. 3 दिन हो गया है. I have forgotten about it. The AI understands it. So follow-ups and commitments. So you will get a message like this. In that mail, you will see 3 दिन पहले मैंने बोला था वीडियो भेजता हूँ, भेजा है क्या? It is asking me. भेजा है तो अच्छा है, नहीं भेजा है तो टास्क बनाएगा, आउटलुक में डालेगा. And if it is a false positive, because it's machine learning, it can be a false positive. It is very important to inform that machine algorithm that this is wrong. तो तुम्हारा ही जिंदगी सुधरने वाला है, because everyone's model is different, because everyone's way of communicating is different. So 1, 2 और 3 इसमें से कुछ तो करो. Currently, this feature is paused because it is getting integrated with chat or whatever Copilot ChatGPT. But एक दो महीने में वापस आ जाएगा. It also gives you a dashboard. It gives you a dashboard like this. If you go to Viva Insights, you will see well-being, productivity, teamwork. Again, all of you understand MS Graph is the data about what I do in the Microsoft platform. The same data it is using, intelligently creating measures and extracting useful information from it and giving it to you. So, in simple terms, you can see what you do. Your self revelation बोलते हैं वैसा चीज है. So, some things it can show you is this. It uses a 4-week window usually and saying तूने 45 मीटिंग अटेंड किया एंड कितने मीटिंग में अटेंडेंस कैसा था, हाउ मेनी मीटिंग्स वेर लॉन्ग, हाउ मेनी वेर आउटसाइड ऑफिस आवर्स, डिड यू जॉइन ऑन टाइम, डिड यू मल्टीटास्क. All this information it is giving you on a platter. Nobody else can see it, but you should at least see it. That's the idea. So please, one immediate best practice, ढूंढो Viva Insights को and learn how you work. In fact, it has a revealing chart. This is your literally like तुमची कुंडली है. Sorry. One chart is like how exactly you work in life. What is it showing? There is a 4-week summary, mails, chats, calls. Nobody has so much clarity about the way they work, and based on that, you will get ideas of to how to improve. In fact, this will also give you ideas. And in the well-being part, there are some training content also, which is free from LinkedIn and HBR also, I think. So use that. It even has some weird meditation things, but don't use that. So that, in a nutshell, is about the current state of AI. Now, what are you going to do next about it? Bare minimum we can do is start looking at it, learning it. Now, broadly, what is it doing? It's summarizing something which is already there. It's not adding anything new. The second category is generative or a combination of the two. That's what we have seen so far. So that's all there is to it. In order to prepare for itself, what are you going to do? Start exploring, start playing with it, and start using it in context. Otherwise, you will just play around, feel good about it, and nothing will happen. Anything you learn has to have immediate or at least potential impact in the near term. Otherwise, that learning is wasted. So, for example, make a simple rule that next PPT में बनाएगा उसमें कोई भी image में generative ही डालेगा. That way you are going to improve your prompt. Just by learning prompts, you are not going to learn. It has to have an applied context. Like that, whenever you are creating a new proposal or new social media post or even title description for YouTube, use this. Maybe it is good, maybe it is bad, but you will learn from it and improve. So finally, there is a lot of worry about will I lose my job? So it is like paperless office सुना है ना, बराबर वैसा ही है. अभी भी सबका प्रिंटर कितने बड़े बड़े प्रिंटर होते हैं, बराबर प्रिंटर वाले का धंधा नहीं गया ना. वही. सो जब ओला उबर आया तो टैक्सी बंद होएगा ऐसा सोचा, सेम, बराबर. So same concept applies here. कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. Of course, if you don't use anything, then nobody can help you. But use it to your advantage. It's so simple, and most of it is free. If you are extensively using it, paying that $18 for ChatGPT is nothing. So that's about it. Job is absolutely safe. In fact, it's an opportunity because many people will be laggards at organizational as well as individual levels. First mover is always better. So when people are experimenting, you are already in the flow, right? And the best way to get the hang of it is one is use it in your own context, and even equally important, teach it to others. वो बच्चा हो, बॉस हो, फैमिली हो, फ्रेंड हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. Teach it because that forces you to learn. So that's it. Thank you.